I first started out coding, I used to learn game development through watching tutorials. Maybe that's why I didn't really learn any game development. But at that time, because I did game development, I used to think that all of coding requires a lot of maths. But I respect your time and I'm just gonna say it. Coding doesn't necessarily require any maths, but you do in some cases. Now, programming is a really large field, alright? So in some areas you do need maths, while in others you just don't. Now let me tell you some fields of programming that actually require maths. The first one being machine learning and data science. Now you'll be working a lot with big data, so it's good to have some knowledge of linear algebra and probability before you actually buy a course or watch a YouTube video on how to build your first machine learning model, for example. The second field where maths is required is game development. Now, vectors and matrices are used quite often in game development, and game physics requires a bit of maths too. Now, from here on out, I'm sourcing a few websites and Reddit sources, so take all of this information with a grain of salt. Now, the third field in which you need maths is robotics. You'll probably need some linear algebra and differential equations knowledge. And the last field that requires maths is cryptography. You'll need to learn some linear algebra and number theory. Of course, there are other fields that require maths as well, but these are the most mainstream ones. Now, here's a list of fields that don't really require maths, but I guess maths can help. The first one being web development. Now, front-end web development barely needs any maths. You'll just be using numbers and not much maths. But back-end development is somewhere where you might need some basic understanding of maths, but nothing that you need to learn explicitly. Now, the second field is DevOps. Now, some basic high school level maths should be enough here, but it really depends on what kind of projects you're working on. Now, the third field is mobile development. Now, most of the time you don't really need maths unless, of course, your app is maths oriented. The thing about programming is that every year new technologies come out that make it easier to build larger and more complex software. And this means that every year the requirement for maths in coding just reduces. So don't let maths hold you back on your journey to learn to code. If you're a complete beginner and are trying to get into programming, I have a completely free PDF for you down in the description below. This PDF will teach you how to learn to code from scratch. And if you gained any kind of value from this video, be sure to consider subscribing because you might like the videos too. Thank you for watching.